The day of the hairy freak or the fat slob is practically gone.
Let the party begin. I've got snacks.
Hey, look at us. Did it again, another 7 days around the sun. Welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live. My name is Tom. Look, right there. Right there. There it is. Whoa, I love that sound. Ghost of Burt Prentice, thank you for upping your sub right off the bat. Boom, boom. And welcome to WCW Deep Cuts Live, where every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we gather to watch the quote-unquote forgotten television classics from World Championship Wrestling in the 1990s. Hello to everybody in the Erotic Eric Fontaine Fan Club, a.k.a. The Chat. Big Tommy Tuesday tonight with a slight schedule change. We'll get to that here in a second. I gotta give a big thanks to the members of my Weirdo Empire, a.k.a. those folks who plopped down a few bucks to help me out on YouTube. I'm glad to see a lot of you out on Sunday for Not Quite Wrestling. We watched Rock and Jock Sports. What did I think it was? Roller Jam. It's Rock and Jock Sports from 1994. I had a blast with you guys. And here's the second page. Thanks to everybody for who are making a young boy like me blush. Supporting me. Join the Weirdo Empire. Go to my YouTube channel. Gotta do it on the computer for some reason. Hold down the subscribe button and it'll give you options to help me out financially. So there you go. Again, you get the monthly Not Quite Wrestling streams if you join at the Erotic Eric Fontaine tier or up $4.99 and up a month. So yeah. For hanging out. Thank you all so much to everybody for doing so. Now, if you want to keep the hangout going, beyond just the couple hours we're here together tonight, join the Discord, tinyurl.com/Discord for Tom Green. Look at that. We're all in there chatting away about various things, about what may or may not be in the WWE library vault thing. And other such things. So we're having fun in there. Go join us now. Hang out. So tonight, like I mentioned, there's a programming change. Due to the fact that when I was doing my dry run... Oh shit, those streamers buffering. Fuck. Here. I think we might be fine. I think we're good. I think it was just freaking out for a second. If it starts up again... Ebenezer Prime, thank you so much. Thank you so much for upping your sub. If it starts acting up again, I'm going to have to restart some stuff. I was acting fine right before I went live. But when I was doing my dry run earlier, one of the episodes of Saturday Night that I was going to play tonight freaked the freak out and kept crashing OBS. So I've replaced it with WCW Worldwide from June. Oh my goodness. All the subs come in, and thank you all. Hype train is going. Ghost of Burt Prentice, thank you for giving out that sub. Ebenezer Prime, thank you for upping your sub. Gonna have some fun. So yeah, we're gonna watch WCW Worldwide from June of 1999, and then we're gonna watch the final episode of WCW Saturday Night of June of 99. So we will be filling the full 2 hours. So without any further ado, it's been 4 minutes. We haven't watched a damn second of wrestling. Let's go.
I want you.
Oh shit.
I want you. I want you. We all want you. To call.
Are you sure?
The one-to-one line. That
I have a
allows
lot
us
of
to share our
issues.
secrets. Why not put yourself in touch with someone who's looking to talk? One, to 1.
Like me.
1-900-776-5888.
What if I have no
Call now.
interest?
I want you. I
What was
want
the
you.
schedule change?
I
No,
want
so we're gonna
We
watch
can't get to
WCW
90
Worldwide
unless we get to
from
talk
June
to
of
you.
'99 instead of 2 episodes of Saturday
All right,
night.
ladies and gentlemen, here on WCW.
We're only gonna watch
Worldwide,
one
folks, we've
episode
got
of
to talk
Saturday
about the
night
Great American
and some
Bash
Worldwide.
pay-per-view. It is right around the corner, Sunday, June 13th. It starts at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 out of the West Coast.
Another
And what a
sub.
spectacular
Thank you,
card
thank you, thank
in the
you.
making. In a World Heavyweight
Oh,
title
why am
bout
I
for the
doing that?
WCW World Heavyweight title, Kevin Nash, Big Sexy, is going to be facing the Macho Man,
Big Sexy.
Randy Savage. I wonder if the Macho Man is going to have that young lady, gorgeous
Matt P.
George, somewhere around the ring. WCW
Thank you
World
so
Tag
much
Team
for
titles
upping that
on the line
sub.
as Raven and Saturn defend against Bam Bam Bigelow and Diamond Dallas Page. The control of WCW, something that's been up in the air for quite some time. The return for control of WCW, that match between the
Yes,
Nature Boy
this
Ric
very
Flair
successful
and
storyline
Roddy Piper. I know
that
one
everyone
man's gonna be
totally
watching
loved.
and maybe participating in the
Hey,
Great American
Jim Duggan
Bash.
flew.
I hope so.
Got
If
wind
there's
blowing through
anybody
his hair.
more
I tell you what, if those people up in the front office with their heads stuck up in the clouds decide to use their noggin for something besides a hat rack, Hacksaw Jim Duggan will be on the Great American Bash. Me, my board, and the flag.
We might
of the
eventually need to do
United
just a
States of
commercial
America,
stream.
Mean Gene. You know, all these guys
Eventually.
at WCW, they say, hey, to
Are
be
you the only one
successful,
getting
you gotta
repeats?
have
What do you mean
tough guy
repeats?
tattoos, a few body parts pierced, maybe a feathered bow or a sequin rope.
Duggan was
Not
really
Hacksaw Jim
weird
Duggan,
about
not before,
wrestlers with
not
body
now,
piercings.
Not ever. The board, the flag, and me. And when
Around
I
this
stop
time.
running down the ring, the guy in the striped shirt
Acting like he was the advocate
Get
for
out of my
pure
way,
wrestling.
Because I'm going to attack. I said it since I've come back since my cancer surgery. I'm going to have a bigger effect on the WCW in the few years I have left wrestling than the 20 years I've had before. And a Great American Bash, if you miss Hacksaw, you're missing it, tough guy.
He didn't wrestle on that show, by the way.
Only on pay-per-view.
I don't think he had a single. He had one pay-per-view match in '99, and he was a replacement.
Thanks a lot, Tony and Larry. Scott
A replacement for Buff Bagwell.
Mike today, and a jam-packed to the rafters worldwide arena.
Agreed, no you stick it. Here we go. Barry Darsow, the uncle wrestler.
Now I'm part of the My Via family.
Yeah. Does anybody else in that family stuck with pro wrestling? Young Barry Darsow.
This is the point where everyone in WCW's just given up and are like, okay, yeah, the WWF's better.
And Barry Darsow is going to go one-on-one.
Billy Silverman openly laughing at Barry Darsow.
Look, he's sort of
Happened to the real man with Grizzly Smith.
Eee.
It's about time. Van Hammer. No longer
Oh my God.
tie-dye.
What would possess somebody
See the new look.
to send this match out to the ring? Van Hammer representing the Rhythm Nation? Thank you, Yankee Hawk. I will keep them coming. Already started writing the next couple. Hopefully in the next couple weeks I'll have another one. Van Hammer about to pair it up with Stephanie Tanner's dance troupe.
This new attitude on the part of Van Hammer does not bode well for the competition.
This music is way too fucking cool for Van Hammer.
Barry Darsow is going to get a shot. That's a new look Van Hammer, or maybe not.
Darsow's like, I know this match is gonna suck. I'm just gonna leave the ring.
Van Hammer. Oh, forearm across the back.
What the fuck is up with those shorts?
Darsow at ringside. Sets him up. Oh, here we go.
Like that has to be a rib. Why would you wrestle in those? It's not even about the fashion, it just seems impractical. He tried to do a dive. It's not his fault he's not good at things.
And then sends Darsow face first into the ring apron.
Darsow has not had a chance to get untracked here. A brutal attack from Van
Yeah, Van Hammer was on the pay-per-view. Yeah, him and Mikey Whipwreck had a match for no reason.
Excellent strategy on the part of the submission artist, Barry Darsow, taking the windpipe of Van Hammer and dropping him throat first. Now immediately into
Yeah,
the
man,
ring,
Hammer was there
driving a series of right hands,
forever.
now just throttling
And
Van Hammer.
ever.
Come on, the referee
Forever.
Bill stepping in there. Darsow's got to the
Yeah,
count.
fuck the weather.
4.5.
Global warming can
And you
eat
heard
my
Darsow
butt.
with the stinking bum line. That means he's not
I'm gonna choke him out. I'm gonna break his stinking arm.
The minute that he arrives in the arena, he never
Shot into the rope. Darsow caught him with the clothesline. Leveled it. Lateral press. Darsow on top for the 2 count. Hammer slowly back to his feet. Double leg sweep on Barry Darsow. Jumps the elbow. No. Darsow out of the way. Darsow thrust into the throat of the 6'6" Van Hammer. Face first into the top turnbuckle. Compliments of Darsow. Hammer shot across the ring. Oh, hard into the corner.
Incredible impact that time.
The breaker, yeah, the breaker 9, aka the barely legal, where he bends your wrist up like on your clavicle.
And Van Hammer.
Brian, hello. Barry Darsow does rule. I did a whole video about it and everything.
Darsow sets him up, shoots him across into the rope. Oh, right in the bread basket. Doubled over Van Hammer. Darsow.
Like if Van Hammer farts, those pants rip.
Top to the throat. And Darsow drops the leg. One more time into the throat of Van Hammer. Lateral press. Doesn't hook the leg, and Van Hammer out at 2.
I'll give you, Van Hammer was cooler than Johnny Ace, because Johnny Ace is a monster. I saw that Ebenezer Prime. Hopefully my Twitch doesn't get hacked.
In this matchup, with Darsow attempting several pinfalls, but coming up just short.
Van Hammer still looking for an open
Hey
door.
Nathan, hello.
On the flashback. Oh, here we go. No. Neck breaker from Van Hammer. And Darsow hit hard in the ring. Darsow still down.
Van Hammenager.
He cut off Van Hammer.
Van Hammer had no idea how to sell an eye poke.
Shortcut, raking the eyes.
Oh, look at that. Van Hammer sidestepped the flat foot. Here we go. The Cobra.
Oh, God.
The Cobra clutch.
Into the slam.
Oh.
What impact. The Cobra slam from Van Hammer. Lateral press hooks him up. And he gets the 3. And the new look, new attitude, Van Hammer gets
Yeah, he did not succeed in saving WCW. Hey, Refs' Wizards, hello. This is after the first hold on Barry Darsow run, but before he got amnesia.
Well, folks, this week here on WCW,
I love the
Worldwide,
uncomfortable,
we're talking
like,
about the
5
Great American
seconds
Bash
before the take
pay-per-view.
that they left
It's
in.
going to be originating from Baltimore, Maryland on Sunday night, June the 13th, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 out of the West Coast. And by the way, call your cable company now regarding pay-per-view availability. The World Heavyweight Champion here at WCW, Big Sexy.
Yes, Regal knocked out Van Hammer at DDP's Christmas party.
Also,
in like 1996,
for control of WCW, there seems to be a big
because he was bitching about the luchadors getting booked.
Well, we're gonna
He's like, they're so small, and Regal's like, fuck you, and he punched him.
Roddy Piper. Now then, Raven and Saturn on the WCW tag team. What are you going to say?
I would like to know who's running the company as well, because some of that needs to change, because they're not running it right, as you can tell by the shows every week.
Well, Raven and Saturn are going to be facing Bam Bam Bigelow, Diamond Dallas Page, and Rey Mysterio.
Let's just
Jr.
bitch about the company out in the open on TV.
See, Gene, it's hard enough to face Raven and Saturn. Now, if Diamond and
could you imagine?
Bam Bam win,
somebody just went out on like Ring of Honor.
We definitely got to.
Somebody needs to buy this place from Tony Khan.
We want those belts back because they were ours. They took it away in a 6-man, and I don't think that was fair. It should be 2-on-2.
You know, I should point out for the record that, yes, Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman did hold the WCW tag team titles. I'm not for certain you shouldn't be the number one
Mr. is
contender.
9 years
We've
old.
been through, J.J. Dillon keeps booking us in these number one contenders matches that we come out on top, and now all of a sudden, Bam Bam and DDP, where do they come from that just get thrown in there for a title shot?
DDP has got stroke with
Yeah,
this company.
DDP, not
I get
DDP.
I get that.
Kidman, the ladies loved Billy Kidman.
Well, they're a couple of big men, and I don't think you can take anything away from
Keep
them.
this in mind that Rey Mysterio did defeat Bam Bam Bigelow before.
I think
Billy
very much
Kidman went from
Kidman
like
and
heroin
Rey Mysterio.
addict
I'll
in
take it to the
kayfabe
committee.
Mr. Buster,
to the hottest man in WCW. Regal punched Van Hammer at DDP's Christmas party in 1996.
Scott Hudson, Mike today, back in a jam-packed arena here on Worldwide as Judo Suwa.
Judo
makes his
Suwa.
return to WCW. And Mike, we talked about the
One of
international
Ultimo Dragon's
of
initial
world
tour Yumon
championship
students.
wrestling, and we do mean the world. Judo Suwa.
At the end of his excursion in WCW.
Trained in Mexico.
He's got some box
It was an effort
braids.
on the part of Judo Suwa and several other young wrestlers from
That's how you know he spent time in America.
To emulate their hero, the Ultimo Dragon, a former WCW World's Cruiserweight Champion. So this
God, I love that style. I hate that style went away with WCW.
Mexico City. And over the course of the past
Speaking of box braids, Vampiro.
Just outside of Mexico City called Arena Malcalpan. That is owned basically by the family of Ultimo.
Vampiro was just hitting people.
Live wrestling events there on a weekly basis.
Like, he seems so annoyed he has to high-five. You can just walk to the ring. You don't have to high-five folks.
Recently, he has even returned to his homeland, where Ultimo Dragon is promoting wrestling events in Japan, and Judo Suwa now returns to the United States with World Championship Wrestling.
This is Vampiro very early in the WCW run, before his push starts.
Also went south of the border to Mexico City to train as a luchador, where he achieved a great measure of success.
We've come across Chad Fortune in a few of them. Yes. Yeah, it looked like he was just going to start hitting fans. Like, he looks so bummed. Oh, he's wearing his shirt says 69. Nice.
Inarguably are luchadors, neither of whom are natives of Mexico.
Oh shit.
Standing back right in the jaw on Judo Suwa.
So yeah, Regal knocked out Van Hammer at DDP's house. And then I learned in the new Guy Evans Beyond Nitro book that the same night, DDP and Scott Hall tried to shoot an angle where Hall would like beat him up and then they would air it on Nitro the following Monday. But they fucked it up and they couldn't air any of the footage.
Boot right into the back from Vampiro.
Now the obvious size and power advantage.
Yeah, Vampiro was cool dude. Was like the default cool dude of 2000. But yeah, he fucking sucked, Brian. Like, but he would. Vampiro has said himself that he thought he fucking sucked in the ring. He wasn't trained. Like, people don't realize that Vampiro was not trained to wrestle. Nobody ever taught him how to take back bumps.
Missed the clothesline.
Drove him down to the canvas with that variation of the Uranage.
And Vampiro getting the crowd into it in the Worldwide Arena.
Oh my god, Nick Patrick's mullet is mighty.
To fight it out on the mat with Vampiro.
Oh my. How did Vampiro get in the business? He was a musician.
Now Suwa takes it outside.
I think the story was he was a musician playing in Mexico. And I think Conan, maybe it was? Somebody in Lucha was like, hey, you look cool. And they just brought him along for the ride. Oh. Yes, Nick Patrick all over the ropes. Oh! How long was who under a WCW deal? Green Boy. Like, Vampiro has said he got like a crash course on how to survive in the basic lucha setting. They taught him how to roll, but not to bump. Vampiro was there from... I think he signed in mid-98, and he was there till the end of 2000. Oh my gosh! Why?
Belly-to-belly suplex from Vampiro, and Suwa went all the way across the ring.
Well, it's part suplex and part throw, and now he hooks on the submission hold. Look at the pressure on the ankle, the twisting on the knee as well. And referee Nick Patrick goes down,
every time the camera gets closer to Nick Patrick, that mullet gets bigger.
But Vampiro releases the hold and comes up and connects with a boot to the midsection. Oh!
This straight up does Ernest Miller's kick as a finish.
And that will do it.
Nicely done. Combination of the pinfall.
Like he was also doing the Hoovy driver at the time. Yes, Judo Suwa from Toriumon. Yes, Mike. Hello, hello.
Vampiro is in the winner's circle.
I tell you what, that was action-packed as Vampiro.
Hey.
Bask in the glory here in the Worldwide Arena. It is going to be worth one more look. Good luck.
Vampiro's like, hey, look, it's a bunch of people from Nowheresville, America. Vampiro was like a god in Mexico. Him and Conan were like big music and soap opera stars. Like, that's insane. Just land like a sack of shit. God, could you imagine if they went to the back and Nick Patrick's like, the hair looks kind of cool. I'm thinking of doing it myself. So he could hold on to them like little ropes. Tony Schiavone looks like a little boy broadcaster. Like, between the hair and the way that his suit's fitted, he looks like one of those little kids that they bring into the broadcast booth at like a major league game for like a stunt.
But you know what is going through the mind of Ric Flair? China knows more about our nuclear defense system than we'll ever know about the back room.
Oh, timely humor from Larry.
Give the shot to the Horsemen when they rightfully deserve it.
You know, I just thought of something. We've gone the whole program without you talking about your golf game. That's a...
You know, actually, I hit so many balls. I've got
it's Michinoku Driver, a.k.a. the Tubi Driver. It's the same purpose that, like, the microphones on The Tonight Show or Conan had. They're there for show. Unlike this bad boy right here.
What a weekend it is. This is the Great American Bash.
Hello, KJ over on Twitter.
Live from Baltimore, Maryland, 8 o'clock Eastern and 5 out of the West Coast. You can check it all out on pay-per-view from top to bottom.
Can I?
This card is spectacular.
But I don't know how to make an appropriate phone call, Gene.
In scene, as a matter of fact, I have great
the Michinoku Driver came first.
Roddy Piper, come on in. Mr. Piper.
Vampiro has said he stole it from Parka.
You're going to be meeting Mr.
That's
Flair.
dead on, Brian. Larry Zbyszko looks like a guy who got married just so he can make jokes about how much he hates his wife.
This is the last time that this fight is going to happen. This fight is going to finish, and we are going to have a winner, and we're going to have control. Ric Flair, the 60
Roddy, that's a microphone. You don't have to yell, bud.
For the last 5 years. You ain't fooling me for a second. I heard you get on the air. You said, the day I die will be the day I let a guy with blue jeans and boots run this company. You know what? This Sunday, you're dying, baby.
What was that song?
You know what it is? I know you got the $3,000 Armani boots on, and you got the $5,000
Armani boots?
suits. I ain't got
they make
none
boots?
Of that, but try to climb my bank account. When I become president, and I will this Sunday in Baltimore, what I will do
God,
is
I love in wrestling when all the old guys brag about how rich they are.
Responsibility. Somebody that will run this company and give the wrestling fans what they deserve, not this conundrum that they've been getting, not this
conundrum that they've been getting.
I'm going to give them what they deserve, and that's
a great way to describe WCW. This fucking conundrum.
To take Flair in Baltimore this Sunday, take that platinum band hair, pull it on, and stand up.
Yeah, Larry Zbyszko lives in Chase and Rance's basement.
To sweat.
Let's go to the ring where Mike Tenay and Scott Hudson, the Scoop Twins, have the call.
The Scoop Twins.
Well, that comment notwithstanding, we're here in the world.
Saucy.
Scott Hudson and Mike, the model today.
Yeah, that was their bit at this point, was that Hudson and Tenay would introduce each other with, like, 80s and 90s wrestling nicknames. I'm glad to have you back in here, Mike. I know it's been a while. Glad to have you.
Don't try and lump me in this. Well, I didn't know. You're entitled to it. Scotty Riggs, the biggest Scotty Riggs mark in the sport.
It might just be you, because it says that it's the buffering on my end has been controlled, and I have it running on my phone, and it looks like it's doing just fine. So might need to restart your app. Wash your damn mirror, Scotty. Seriously, there's fingerprints all over that thing. Larry, how did Larry end up living in Chase and Rance's basement? He divorced Vern's daughter. He did just call him Scotty Riggs Mark. He divorced Vern's daughter, and his only income was indie wrestling bookings. And well, when you're a 60-something-year-old man, you don't get booked on a lot of indie shows. Chase and Rance had a big old condo. and room in his
Another
basement.
interesting correlation between these
Scotty
two
Riggs
athletes.
looking
Scotty
like a
Riggs was
Bobby
the
Roode
first
rough
half of the
draft.
world
Poor Mike
tag
Enos
team
doesn't even get an
With
entrance.
Buff the Stuff Bagwell, Mike Enos at one time. Where is Riggs going?
Maybe there's a large
What if he just
mirror in the
walked
locker room.
out?
Well, good.
We weren't going to do anything to him if he just left.
Now what?
Oh, I see what it was.
Did he get another mirror?
Ringside to take the ring robes back to the locker room, also took the mirror, and obviously Riggs wants to make sure during the match, in case his hair gets messed up, that he has the mirror with him at all times at ringside.
Give that guy a raise. Come take the mirror. What I was saying before Riggs completely bailed on us is that
At least Mike Enos's biker shorts are tights. They're spandex. Van Hammer was wearing denim.
opening up on Enos. Oh, reversal. Riggs into the rope. Big back elbow from
I think this was Scotty's idea. Like, when people say Kevin Nash booked WCW, he booked his shit and then just let, Kevin Sullivan and them do the undercard stuff. Same thing with Ric Flair. Ric Flair didn't book WCW, he booked his own stuff and then let the committee do the rest. They took the booker job so that they could book their own stuff. Referee, I think, is Billy Silverman? No, that's not Billy Silverman, that's Mickey J. Mickey J, the referee who looks like my mom.
Was that both of these men early in their careers were more recognized as tag team competitors.
Mike, you can't mention the Beverly Brothers on here, buddy. Well, technically the Destruction Crew.
In terms of singles
You know.
competition, and I think both men have found it very difficult at this point in time to make their way up that ladder of success. A victory here by either one of these two men could really lead them.
No, you're thinking of Billy Silverman, Ebenezer Prime. And to answer your question, Orion, I want to say Paul Orndorff did that. And Paul Orndorff got the bad luck. The owner of the mirror is the one who gets the bad luck. Why is there stalling for this match? That's a good point. Why do they need to stall? This match is going to be 4 minutes long.
And we've certainly seen over the course of the past several weeks as we see now the
Also, you can tell Mike Enos is really hip with the culture because he's wearing MMA gloves in 1999.
Of course, we've also seen some counterattacks from Kevin Nash. World heavyweight title
The flock broke up in September of '98, so this is about 9 months later. This is a gimmick. This is a gimmick archetype that like 100 wrestlers use. So you can't say it's a ripoff of any one wrestler. I think only glass mirrors harbor bad luck. I think plastic, you're fine. Oh shit. Oh! I love how he did a countdown like people knew what his finisher was. Wow! So the guy that got introduced in the ring wins a match. And his entrance song is just We Will Rock You. Like, what?
The world now knows that this is the Great American Bash Weekend.
Yeah, the world knows because you keep fucking talking about it, Gene. Yes, Mike Enos in '99. He was around till right before Russo came in.
You've got that big title match for the WCW World Heavyweight Crown. Big sexy Kevin Nash to defend against the Macho Man, Randy Savage. I've been told
Always drove me nuts that these fictitious wrestlers that use this fictitious locker room set could never put their damn t-shirts up.
Don't mess with Texas. Kurt Hennig from the great state of Minnesota. This coming Sunday night on pay-per-view at the Great American Bash.
Gene just read Bobby Duncombe's shirt.
And Rey Mysterio Jr.
That's character development.
Over musical tastes.
Well, that's how it started out, Gene, is with this rap and crap in other country. So what
This
I
rap
did, I went
and
down to
crap?
Texas, I found me a big bad Texan. And you know Texans got this attitude. They don't back up, they don't complain, and they hit you straight on, straight forward. And that's what's going to happen to Conan, and it's Rey Mysterio Jr. at the Great American Bash, Gene.
You know, I kind of like this combination of you and
Speaking of
Kurt,
crap,
Bobby
apparently
Heenan.
I started a whole thing posting that Reddit screenshot last night
Second generations, babe.
on Twitter.
The bottom line is that when we get in the ring, Conan and Rey Mysterio Jr., we're not only going to beat you, we're going to hurt you bad. We're going to do it, Texas.
We're gonna hurt you bad.
Rap is out, brother. The Texans are back. I've got your back, Kurt. I promise you, brother. Hey,
we're going to hear a couple of tunes, a couple of country songs from you.
Texans.
Perhaps.
After we put
Plural.
out like a cigarette, but perhaps maybe then we'll sing a victory song, you know? Maybe the eyes of Texas are upon you. There we go, buddy.
I love that Kurt Hennig had so much fun doing this gimmick that it's the last time he tried in
Great
wrestling.
American Bash is this Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, and of course it's available only on pay-per-view. We're at the
And
11th
then-
hour. Make the appropriate telephone call.
And then he got word from above that Sanderson Practices thought it was a race war, which it kind of looked like.
this one is going to be interesting.
A literate Steve Carino. Very specific.
Bob Slater himself, Mr. World Class
Chip Mitten.
And on 2 occasions, he represented the United States in that Winter Olympics. Nagano, Japan, Lillehammer, Norway, and you see they're pointing to the Olympic
If you guys have not seen my short on Chip Mitten ended up having... Oh my god, there's a God Bless Owen Hart sign. I love the sentiment, but maybe save it for when Chip Mitten isn't like, hey, fuckers, I'm so cool.
with the real Mr. USA. Back in the ring wars, the Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
But no, Chip Mitten ended up being a power team guy in the church. So he would lift like flaming tree branches and shit over his head. And like break boards.
You can sense the reaction from the crowd on hand here at the Worldwide Arena. How thrilled they are to have Jim Duggan back in action.
I always loved that little space above Jim Duggan's dick was always wet on the tights.
Any opponent that steps between those ropes into the squared circle, the best they can hope to be is the second toughest opponent.
Chip Mitten is definitely a guy that would try to buy the Muppet Theater and shut it down.
Oh, man. You have no idea how loud that is in the headphones when he's screaming in the camera mic.
Never fails to get a great response from the crowd.
Oh my goodness, that would have been a great storyline, Nathan. If Jim Duggan feuded with a heel power team who like broke his board. Oh my goodness. Ah. Oh, I hate that didn't happen now.
Necessarily be reflective of a former Olympian, Scott.
Certainly not. I don't think the IOC is very thrilled with how Chip
Yeah, they didn't keep track of that shit, Elias.
in WCW rings of late.
Like, Enos and Riggs probably teamed on that same taping.
No, I'm asking you.
No, I have no idea. I think he's a native, isn't he? Born on these shores from Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, the spot above Jim Duggan's tights, his trunks, right above his dick, is always wet. It's never his dick and balls. It's never the waistline. It's that little space in between, always wet. USA, USA. Fuck you, Olympian, American Olympian.
Really? Are we at war with the bobsled guys?
Scott Hudson saying what needed to be said. Scott Hudson, friend of the channel. Pops up in my comments often. Big ol' sweetheart Scott Hudson. Living out by the lake these days. Living the blessed life. Wet dick Jim Duggan. That would have been money. Wet dick Duggan. You think Duggan in the back was like, none of that gay bobsled shit. Ugh. You bobsledders with your piercings in your nose and your tattoos.
Strategy on the part of Mitten. Roll out to the floor while he flexes for the crowd. He also stops the momentum. The offensive assault of Hacksaw Duggan.
Maybe his sweaty pubes. I say Jim Duggan didn't piss himself because the spot was always above where piss would be. Unless he pisses up.
His legs so you'll see so many of his offensive moves, if he's ever able to put any on Duggan, will come from his leg strength.
Nick Patrick is like, fuck you. Get your feathery hair out of my ring. My mullet is so much better than you. Better hacksaw Jim Duggan or Butch Reed. That is hard. I'd say at each of their peak, Jim Duggan. Like, Mid-South Jim Duggan is so fucking good. Mid-South Butch Reed is also amazing. But I think you go Jim Duggan. It's close though. Piss yourself for the troops.
265 pounds. Duggan picked him up with ease and out of the three-point stance. Whoa! What a clothesline! What impact!
The Old Glory knee drop, which always just looked like he fell down after he did the clothesline. Yeah, Duggan was in the Rat Pack in Mid-South. He was a heel, brother. Yeah, Jim sold nothing because Jim Duggan's not gonna sell your shit. With modern eyes and ears, Jim Duggan opens his mouth. I'm immediately in like defense mode, like, oh shit, he's gonna say that he doesn't recognize pronouns. In many ways, Brody King is the anti-Jim Duggan. Like, if Jim Duggan was an intelligent character and tattooed and saw America for the flaws that it has. How much do I think that I don't think the logo did anything.
All right, Scott, Mike, thanks a lot. This
pronouns are USA. Fuck.
Literally the crossroads.
I'm surprised that's not a conservative meme shirt.
Can he win the world title?
Why show a hip replay that shitty hip toss? What else did he do in the match?
Once again, we've talked about it earlier. One man is going to be in control of WCW.
Yeah, Brody King fucking rules,
Power
dude.
is up for grabs, but you asked an interesting question.
Big stupid grin. Thank you for upping that sub. Hell yeah, I love that you're getting shorts from Mystery Wrestling. Mystery Wrestling fucking rules. With our pal Cecil Nix and Evil Uno in the gang.
Emotionally irate. Randy Savage, Tony, can beat Kevin Nash. For the living legend, Larry Zbyszko, I'm Tony Schiavone. We'll see you this
Randy
Sunday.
Savage can beat Kevin Nash. And also, I don't think women should be allowed to vote. God, it was so fucking cool that Brody King made like mainstream news outlets for being a real one.
Next up, on tap, on pay-per-view, another bash. This one, the Bash at the Beach, coming your way live.
Why did they put the two bash shows back to back? So Worldwide was not a half hour, but there's somebody on YouTube who posts edits of Worldwide where they take out all the match recaps.
Even though you're originally from Los Angeles, California.
And since I was in a bit of a hunch,
there's nothing like the beach here in Lauderdale.
when that one episode of Saturday Night wouldn't play, I just downloaded one of those.
The fans are with it, the people come out, and the ladies are beautiful.
I know, I've always, but you know, anywhere in the world, the women are beautiful these days. It's just
anywhere in the world.
Not Omaha.
Have you been to Omaha lately?
Once.
Fantastic. I saw a couple of them at that Exarban rodeo there.
Yes, with the big horns. Nah, not for me, pal.
Okay. My apologies.
Not even
to our
trying to
friends in
sell the
Omaha.
show.
But Bash at the Beach not only means beautiful girls and little beach time, but it also means some great action in the ring. They're mentioning names now like Sting, Buff Bagwell, the Steiners, the Total Package, Lex Luger, Hollywood Hogan. I mean, all of the top names. Goldberg. They're all being mentioned.
Goldberg.
And you know, they'll probably all be here because that's the way it is. That's the way it has been.
I love Gene in having to fill time. He had to pretend.
Oh, yeah.
They get them to
Like,
congregate all in one place
it's
at
like
one
wrestling
time.
was in the 70s where like all these
what they have to
promoters are
offer
coming
them.
together. Oh, I want this guy for my show. I want that guy for my show.
I don't know what kind of experience you had in Omaha, but I lived in Omaha for a couple of years. I thought the world of Omaha. It's a great city.
You live there now?
No, I moved out of there. Yeah.
Why? You think it stinks then, right?
No, I
Then
didn't
why'd
say
you
that.
leave?
There's no
You
don't
like it, do you? You hate
the people
I
there.
love it. It's right on the Missouri
I
River.
mean, Gene did move to Florida.
That's nice. Let's go surfing on the Missouri River.
Thank you, Bobby.
Put our sun oil on and lay on.
Bobby fucking rules, man.
In the world
Bobby Heenan, I've heard he told people that he tried to do a few open mics, and he needed the rhythm of being able to play off of somebody else. He couldn't do stand up.
That's correct.
Like it just being up there by himself, it just threw him off.
Baby today, alongside me, I'm Scott Hudson and Scott Armstrong.
Got Armstrong, mark it off, Jonathan. We got Armstrong bingo.
Oh, I'll get letters. I'll get email. I've got email.
Is it true you're bringing in the Royal Kangaroos?
No.
Okay.
These fucking nerds, I love them. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have any wrestlers in 2025 coming to the ring wearing SA on their singlet.
Of the sons of Bullet Bob Armstrong going solo.
Gotcha. Okay, I think that maybe that's where I heard it from,
With his younger
Ebenezer.
brother Steve Armstrong, they have amassed a couple of victories in WCW of late, but now going single.
Yeah, I guess in terms of high-profile.
Hell yeah, big old dauber.
Monday Nitro, a little over a month ago, that the Armstrongs came out.
That's what I call my minivan.
With Scott and Steve.
There we go, Bobby
Eaton.
Eaton.
Situation against Raven, and a lot of people considered it an upset when the Armstrongs knocked off Raven. But if you think back to the career
God bless
of
her.
Bob Armstrong and
Again,
his son,
great sentiment.
we're talking about, of course, Scott, Steve, Brad Armstrong with World Championship Wrestling, among others.
Like,
the Armstrongs have really made a name for themselves.
I gotta
in this
think.
sport, and I think there were probably just as many people that were not surprised
Like, just
by that result because of the fact that it was
through
a
muscle
handicap match,
memory,
and the Armstrongs,
Terry Taylor or whoever made the
really
lineups in the back
been
wrote
a
down that they
force in
both
professional
lost.
wrestling. Heck, Bullet Bob Armstrong is still
And they had to like
wrestling
negotiate amongst
99.
themselves for a winner. Hey, it's Randy Anderson, I believe.
Also, much more well-known for his tag team competition. Now going solo in there with Scott Armstrong. You know, Mike, after what went down last weekend at the Great American Bash in Baltimore, as we came to the arena here today, I don't know how many people are in the building.
Good stuff.
8, 9, 10
Gene Daddy got local coverage because he's born and raised in rural South Dakota.
What's going to go down at Bash at the Beach on July 11th in Fort Lauderdale? Now, my answer, I don't know. But if it's half as good
God,
as
I
Great
feel
American
so
Bash,
bad for
I'll be
everybody
there.
putting together this episode of Worldwide.
Discussion.
Because all they have to go off of is Bash at the Beach is coming up. We don't know what's going to happen on it.
And you're right, once we came to the arena, everybody was talking about the Great American Bash, and you're right around the corner. It's that
Like, I think
live
Scott's
tradition.
underrated. Bobby, obviously, is one of the all-time greats. So I mean no offense when I say this. This match is the who's who of who is left in the locker room. Ah, your birthday was Bash at the Beach. Happy upcoming birthday. Unless you stopped having birthdays.
Well, both of these wrestlers are very experienced. You're talking about Bobby Eaton and his vast tag team knowledge, and really just his overall knowledge
vast
of the
tag
sport.
team knowledge.
The different holds and the different high
I like
moves.
Scott Hudson in
Bobby
general.
Eaton's knowledge of professional wrestling is so well thought of that
Like,
over
yeah,
the
he's a
course of the
wrestling
couple of
nerd.
months, Bobby Eaton
And he
has
could
been
get a
flying
bit
out
in the
to
minutia.
Vancouver,
But you know what,
Columbia,
man?
Canada,
I appreciate
where
it.
he is working on a new WCW video game through EA Sports. And Bobby Eaton is doing many of the, I guess you would call it the character-generated moves that will appear
Wow.
on that WCW
So that is official
game
confirmation.
by EA
Bobby
Sports.
Eaton did do mocap at the power plant for WCW Mayhem. Like, did Bobby Eaton walk in the door that day like this? And that's why all the characters in the game are fucking T-Rexes?
Bad attitude. The man was a tag team technician.
I hope they got somebody else besides Minoru Suzuki to do mocap for those games, because, you know, characters have to fall down sometimes.
Over the course of their careers,
Hey, Brian, I think I've seen that footage on there on your channel. I believe I've seen it. I've seen something where Scott Hudson was a commissioner for an indie in Tennessee. So I don't think he did it more than once. So I think I have seen some footage. But yeah, everybody go check out Brian Turner's VHS Rehab over on YouTube. Uploading some of the great history of the last 30 years of Tennessee wrestling, as well as the further past and some really cool obscure national stuff.
He got him. Bobby Eaton.
Shout out to Bender. Hello, Bender. Heck yeah, I'm glad to see you folks. The EEFC sub into Brian's channel.
Eaton is very accustomed to having his arms raised following the contest. He got it again. Take us back, Mike.
And we take another look at
That's okay. USW. Oh, that's where. I thought it was for Bert, but I didn't want to assume.
Eaton was ready. He took advantage with the
Everybody got mad at old Bert.
the perfect press, the hook of the leg,
On
the shoulders of Armstrong down on the canvas.
Bobby Eaton won a match. They're talking about fucking Bert, and Bobby Eaton won a match. Good on
A
Bobby.
little bit of the old Bobby creeping in there. Looked like he wanted to grab a handful of tights. Bobby Eaton, your winner. And when we come back on WCW Worldwide, it's a cliche, but this man is a young lion.
Could you imagine being a computer hacker like that guy? And hacking into a mainframe somewhere? Not to get, like, passwords or, you know, get into the government shit, but no, I just want to watch an Evan Courageous video.
Why not put yourself in touch with someone who's looking to talk?
Look at a Bobby Eaton the pussy.
1-900-776-5888.
This is no
Call now.
199 girl.
I want you.
It was Mayhem.
We can't get
Ebenezer
to know
Prime.
you unless we
Mayhem.
get to talk to you.
$4.99 per minute.
To prove that, then this man, Eric Watts.
Eric Watts. All these sex ads lately. These horny people. These horny wrestling footage archivists. This is Raver Pants, Eric Watts era.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Well, there you go.
No, I was going to mention that Eric Watts, now in his second stint with WCW, has
What if Eric Watts looked in the camera and he's like,
just as you see
I want you.
Maybe it's a little cockiness in Eric Watts as he comes out to the ring.
Eric Watts and Adrien Bird. This match is going to be a disaster. I love it.
You're in more of a comfort zone in the ring, and you can certainly see that in 1999 as opposed to the early 90s, as you mentioned, the first run for Eric
I love
Watts in
that
WCW.
Mike Tenay's trying to sell that Eric Watts' gimmick is that he doesn't suck anymore.
6'5", and he's got to be 260.
Wow, he just towers over.
Yeah, Adrien Bird was like 5'2".
Taller, isn't he?
Oh, look at that. Oh!
I think he was legit Rey Mysterio's height.
Adrien Bird. Oh, and a
But because he was
brother.
jacked out of his
Adrien Bird
mind,
showing a little fire there. Eric Watts on his bicycle backs himself
he
into
wouldn't
a
do
corner.
any of that
Not a good
cruiserweight
idea.
shit.
Adrien Bird. Oh, please. Oh, look at that. Eric Watts showing no respect for his opponent, and I don't care how many years
He looks
he's been
taller
in the
here
sport,
because he's
that's always a
wrestling the
mistake.
tiniest wrestler alive.
From Eric Watts, as a matter of fact, you can see the cocky look, that grin on his face in the corner. But, you know, as we've seen in the past, there are wrestlers like Rey Mysterio Jr. who will give away, in the neighborhoods of 100 pounds. And
Eric Watts' gimmick is being that 40-year-old guy
Rey
creeping on
Mysterio
girls'
Jr. has a
club.
nickname, the Giant Killer, and Adrien Bird just took down Eric Watts with the drop toe hold.
Eric Watts has been trying to use his height to an
Oh
advantage.
gosh, yes, that's actually pretty dead on, all right.
Now in exchange, a crisscross, crossbody. No, Eric
Oh.
Watts caught him and dropped him. Full slam in the center of the ring.
Well, there's no question that he
Yay,
has all
good
the
job,
physical
Eric Watts.
tools. You mentioned the former college football quarterback at the University of Louisville.
Yeah, when Pee-wee is like towering over you, you might not be in the right business if you're a wrestler.
Adrien Bird, quick roll up out of nowhere.
Can he hang on? Adrien Bird only got the 2 count. Bird charges in, but
Yeah, Eric Watts got probation for putting that STF on at the gas station on Arn Anderson. He started hanging out with the wrong crowd. Wearing pants like that now.
Adrien Bird trying to use a hit and
It's
run
like he
offense
shrank
to get away from
Maven.
the high impact moves, but he was just on the
Hey
receiving
guys,
end of a
Maven
back
here.
elbow, and this is again an effort to humiliate his opponent as Eric Watts takes the back of Adrien Bird's head and just rubs his nose face first into the canvas.
It does. It looks like he's wrestling either with the shitty quality of the VHS footage and the fact that he's wrestling in white tights that kind of look like a diaper. It does kind of look like he's wrestling either an old man or a toddler.
And is now furious.
He was tutored by a very famous college football coach named Howard Schnellenberger.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Maven Cito.
I did not. Hang on. Bird shot across by Eric Watts. Right into the breadbasket with a big flat of the foot.
Oh, here comes moves, Eric Watts. Fucking inventing the buckle bomb.
Into the top turnbuckle.
Boom, 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 boom. The Eric Watts finger guns. Yeah, Cage Match has Adrien Burt as 5'3", which means that was his build height. Which means he was probably 5'2" or under.
Here we go. Hip toss. Heel throw off the
I love that Sean Ross Sapp, by the way, shout out Fightful. Fightful Select, best $5 in wrestling. Or it's $6 now, I think. Sean took the initiative to ask the Hardy Boys, is Eric Watts' claim true that you stole his look? And we got an actual answer from the Hardy Boys. That's why Sean's a real one. There's a little delay in the video and the stream. I mean, between the video and the stream and the chat, there always is. I can't help it, unfortunately.
Did he get him? He got him. He defeated Eric Watts.
Wow, holy shit. Adrien Burt won a match.
Adrien Burt can't believe it. Neither can we.
I don't know who's more surprised. Scott Hudson, Mike Tenay, or that man,
God, Terry Taylor must have fucking hated Eric Watts. That Adrien Burt, again, what is up with all these guys getting the in-the-ring entrance, losing the match, or winning the match? Eric Watts lost to a fucking child. It was such a surprise that they had to like pick a random song for Adrien Burt to come out to. Oh, they just edited out his entrance. It has to be the biggest one of Adrien Burt's career. I don't think he won another match in WCW.
We will see Perry Saturn. If you hear some exuberant,
I think that Evan Courageous match got edited off of this. Either that or they just like decided to not air it.
He's demanding a shot at the champ. Are you kidding me? Please.
Oh, it's this asshole.
Anything can happen.
They got a short, fellas.
And speaking of anything, here he comes.
There comes Cadet Kelly, Buddy Lee Parker.
Well, the Sarge, Buddy Lee Parker, a man who's made his reputation at the WCW power plant. That is the Atlanta, Georgia.
Speaking of guys that were in WCW Mayhem,
the dojo, so to speak, for World
the dojo,
and the young wrestlers, as well as some of the experienced wrestlers as well. And Buddy Lee Parker's got that monologue down, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
got that monologue down. You know, those Buddy Lee Parker monologues. It's like a IRL bobblehead.
The offices of World Championship Wrestling.
Oh my God, Buddy Lee Parker's fiend should have been Enemy Lee Parker. Worst trainer Build-A-Mod or Buddy Lee Parker.
I see nothing. I don't see the new Lexus.
I assume Buddy Lee Parker. I mean, Build-A-Mod's a fucking asshole.
I haven't heard about anything.
Or at least, you know, people that have trained under him have said he's an asshole. But I also know people that love Build-A-Mod.
Makes his way to the ring here on Worldwide, and I'll tell you what.
And you know, there are wrestlers Build-A-Mod trained that ended up being good.
With Buddy Lee Parker as Perry Saturn pays salute to the late great Owen Hart.
You can't do the whole, I'm a crazy fucking freak. They can also be holding the God Bless Owen Hart sign. Like, what are you looking at? I'm crazy. Also, my dear friend Owen Hart died, and we need to pay tribute to him.
Sue Hart, Helen Hart, Ross Dean, Diana, all the siblings there in Calgary. And Perry Saturn, I got to tell you, as intimidating a look standing in
that was Lieutenant James Earl Wright. Buddy Lee Parker got the head trainer gig because he lived in Atlanta. And he would hang out at the school, and they were like, fuck, you're here. Why is Perry Saturn coming? Because he was doing like a... Like he was dressing like Marilyn Manson, so they just Jimmy Hart just recorded that song for him. Why did Perry Saturn just go after a fan? He's a babyface.
Boy, don't get in this man's way. over 100
When the games is Perry Saturn so orange. That's a very weird skin tone to capture
the Sarge, Buddy Lee Parker,
on a PS1.
intimidating force around that power plant, and I think you
Mike
can
Bell
even
was in the
tell
crowd.
WCW fans that from your own personal experience.
Oh, please, did I go to the power plant? Not trying to be a professional wrestler, I know better than that. But just to see if I could make
I know
it.
better than that.
I made it about 15 minutes before I broke for the donut room. And
stand school, don't need to
You wanted to see up close and personal what it's like to be a part of a wrestler trying to break into the business. And
like the thing about Perry Saturn though is, yeah, he looks and acts like a heel,
10 minutes,
but he does all this cool shit that it's like you kind of want to book him as a
and that
babyface.
doesn't sound like a lot.
Exactly, refs as wizards. You just change that note or two. It's not dun 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 dun. It's dun 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 dun.
Break the men from the boys early on at the power plant. And Buddy Parker is all man, and so is Perry Saturn.
Yeah,
right hands now out of the corner.
It's all about separating the contenders from the pretenders. And in the corner,
Raven's still there.
Parker just pounding away.
Raven left in August.
Crumbled in the corner. You see the
Raven and Saturn were definitely still together. Raven just probably didn't want to wrestle.
Now Saturn reverses. Throws Parker into the corner. Caught him with a couple of right forearms. Now the corner mount.
Yes, Buddy Lee Parker did run Batista off from WCW. Yes.
Oh, big forearm from Perry Saturn.
Running forearm smash in the corner. Rocked the head of the sergeant. Now from the middle rope. That corner mount. Oh, he was raining down right hands. A desperation move by Parker, but it paid off.
It certainly did. Buddy Lee Parker
So Perry was not wearing a dress in his matches, but he wore one to the ring.
What you teach, and he is.
Here.
Butterfly double underhook release suplex. Lateral press.
When he held up that Owen Hart sign, he was wearing a dress. Like a leather and little snaps looking thing.
To put more pain and punishment behind every move and into the corner. Well, it was the hesitation on the part of
I misread that. I thought you said, remember when Terry Runnels mortgaged him?
Out of the corner, back body drop up and over.
Did Perry fuck over John Cronus? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, the DVD.
WCW offered him a lot of money.
Valley driver spells the end for the Sarge, and Perry Saturn.
And like, yeah, he was babysitting John Cronus. Because John Cronus, I think it's established at this point, I'm not speaking at a school. John Cronus lived with a number of learning disabilities and needed a lot of help getting through life.
We often talk about varying up the offense. Perry Saturn can beat you with submission holds like the rings of
I sort of feel like it was Perry's responsibility to be his caretaker. You know? Perry got offered 6 figures by WCW, and they offered to, cover rehab for his leg. I don't blame him for taking it. Cronus didn't get the offer because Saturn said he wanted to stop working with him. And plus, again, it was kind of known in wrestling that Cronus was an adult with those disabilities, and back then it wasn't looked on the same way it is now, and WCW HR was probably like, we can't hire a guy with those disadvantages in life.
When we come back on Worldwide.
What's a Death Valley passenger?
Here on WCW
Hack.
Worldwide.
Sandman is a Death Valley passenger.
This week I'm joined.
This is so fucking weird. Like, these two were in the same company for a year, but it is so weird that Mean Gene has interviewed the Sandman.
We've seen a lot, especially as of late, between you and Bam Bam Bigelow and you, Hack, and Brian Knox.
Yo, I don't care if it's Knobs. I don't care if it's Bigelow. I don't care if it's any man on this planet. Here's the deal. You want to have me in a hardcore match? You want to come into my backyard? This is how we're going to play. We're going to have trash cans.
Chastity did not get canned because she did an adult film. Exactly the opposite.
Brooms.
Bischoff was like, who fucking cares?
We're going to have the Rockets red glare.
That the adult film got outed like right when she got signed by WCW. And Bischoff's like, so what?
What in God's name would you do with that?
I don't know.
She was there for like a year after
they
they found out that she did an adult
film. I'll tell you
film.
what, I'll pick up the kitchen sink and beat you over the head with it.
Chastity, apparently this kind of competition, you must find it intriguing.
I find it very amusing, Gene. I love to sit around and watch that. I watch it all day.
Not a lot left of that sucker.
She likes it hardcore.
Yeah, she did a film before WCW, and then it came out into the open when she signed with WCW. They were making jokes about the movie in both companies.
But you know what? I've beaten Bam Bam Bigelow at Uncensored. I've beaten Bam Bam Bigelow at the Stampede.
That sounds like Cronus.
I've beaten Brian Knobbs up and down the coast. I've beaten them all. I am the king of hardcore. I am extreme as it gets. If you want to get dirty, you want to get filthy, you want to see violence, you come.
Want to get filthy?
All right, getting it straight from the man himself, the king of hardcore. He is Hack. And of course,
that sounds so weird coming out of Gene's mouth.
Stay tuned.
The king of hardcore. But yeah, that's one thing I will give Eric Bischoff a lot of fucking credit for. Is in 1999, attitudes about people that worked in the sex work industry were a lot more negative, and most employers in the public realm would have fired her. And Bischoff was like, so fucking what? What does that have to do with what we're doing? It's not making her worse at what she does for us.
Worldwide, but don't forget,
she gets to keep her job.
On this program, complete results of the Great American Bash last weekend in Baltimore. And as is tradition, legend, WCW tore down the house at the arena.
Next
week, the film will be released. We'll have all the video, all the stills, and we'll show you people.
Worldwide was always a week behind what was happening in like real time, so they would have to pretend like the pay-per-view footage was being developed on film.
I'm still burping up crab cakes. Really? I thought
we'll have it next week.
Crab cakes? Crab cakes. They were good. They smell good. Next week, that's all going down on Worldwide. For Larry Zbyszko, the living legend, I'm Scott Hudson. See you next week on Worldwide.
I am not a fan of crab cakes. That might be a controversial thing to say. Don't see the appeal.
The Great American Bash is now history. However, coming up on Sunday,
exactly, Dom. Nobody fucking cares now.
It's going to be
and rightfully so.
One of the biggest pay-per-views of the year from World Championship Wrestling. And a couple of names right now to come up in negotiations.
Got Starrcade 83 coming up.
Are the names of Curt Hennig and the names of Big Bad Bobby Duncum. Gentlemen, apparently big differences of opinion.
Kurt's in a real silly mood here.
With the two of you and Conan, K-Dog, and Rey Mysterio Jr.
No,
is it all about music?
No, it's not all about music. It's about the way they live their lives and what they do in their lives that I don't agree with. What are you looking at?
That makes it sound like they're gay, and he doesn't agree with it.
Referring to how red it is?
Yeah.
Take a look at my neck.
That's very red also.
Neck, Bobby.
We don't agree with how they live their lives.
Yeah, they call us a redneck, but that's a beautiful
Bobby
thing.
Duncum, it was an ECW for a little bit. Yes, in 96, 97.
I've had it up to here with all of them. We've embarrassed
and ECW was the only wrestling company that did a 10 bell for him when he died.
Entertainer back in 1998. I mean, he's got the No Limit records, No Limit Soldiers. He's got it all together.
Yeah, but don't you know I was in?
He's got it all together, Master P.
I had not heard that.
Bobby knows it.
Yeah. Is that true, Bobby Duncum?
Yeah, he was top three. Bottom line is, Ray, Conan, Master P, we don't care who you are, and I don't care how much.
I don't think Bobby. I think Bobby worked with Master P for a month and still didn't know who he was. Master C.
That remains to be seen. If Master P gets involved in this personally, you could be in for some trouble. Those No Limit Soldiers of his are pretty good sized guys.
Yeah, people don't understand, like, for all the crazy shit that happened in the 90s, we were all very scandalized by the most basic shit.
We don't.
Thank you very much. Big Bad Bobby Duncum, Curt Hennig. And
Big Bad Bobby Duncum.
Sunday, July the 11th, only on pay.
Jim Duggan, I think, would have actually said racist shit if you put him with the rap is crap, West Texas rednecks. I think he would have. He was already kind of pushing it with the whole, I don't like wrestlers with earrings and tattoos who talk a certain way thing.
Mean Mike, Tough Tom, actually beating the bell, taking the advantage. Oh, Armstrong's comeback time.
I loved when Master P showed up in AEW.
Double clothesline. Sends Mean Mike and
Samoa Joe seemed so geeked for it. Hey, Pescado, house show dives.
Scott Armstrong, airborne that time, took out both members of Disorderly Conduct, and the Armstrong.
Yeah, Master P likes wrestling. I think Silk the Shocker's the real fan in the family.
We weren't prepared for this one to start that quickly at all. But Disorderly Conduct and the Armstrongs, two teams on the rise
Yeah.
as they were in WCW.
Yeah, Duggan would have gotten real weird with that shit.
At the World Tag Team
This is another match where I think Terry Taylor was like, who the fuck wins? I don't know. Also, shout out to Steve Armstrong for still repping the Young Pistols on the back of his tights.
They can tell you who it is that's going to be defending the titles, which two men, and of course at that point they have backup at ringside with the third man.
A lot of rappers like wrestling.
Sunset flip by Scott Armstrong. Mean Mike's a big guy. Oh, chopped down by Steve Armstrong. Hang on, Tough Tom is in there. There was no tag, but the referee, Billy Silverman, being distracted by Steve Armstrong. No legal tag between Disorderly Conduct.
Yeah, I like Disorderly Conduct.
They love to flaunt that situation behind the back of the
They're a very basic team, but sometimes basic is good. That's fucking awesome, Brian. Of course Mystical popped up in Memphis.
And look how quickly Tough Tom gets to his feet, follows up the advantage. Disorderly Conduct smells blood in this match.
Ooh. See, when he hoisted it up, and he hoisted him up, and Scott kept like kind of going behind his back, I thought he was gonna do Atlantis's move, like that torture rack looking thing. Hey, not that Chris Benoit. I think we all ate them already. Fucking awesome. Reggie B, fine. Yeah, Scotty, I like Scott Armstrong, but it's not the right gear for his body type.
Scott Armstrong, and I gotta tell you, as the wrestling world was shocked at the Great American Bash when we saw the return.
I'm gonna have to say no, because we've had a couple folks, not that many, but we had a couple folks that I let it go and they kind of pushed it a bit, and I regret it in the long run because they were kind of assholes about it. So I'm sorry.
Believe it or not, he's taken it to another level, made it even more outrageous with the acquisition of Sid Vicious.
There was that one guy who I let plug his like sports message board or whatever the fuck it was, like last year, and he just spammed the fuck out of the chat. Oh fuck! Scott Armstrong's head bounced off that wood. Eee. Scott reffed in WCW the last few months, yes. And they called him Scott James.
Here we go. Head scissors, side headlock, double rollover from Scott Armstrong. Disorderly Conduct, dazed and staggered. Scott needs to make the tag, and there it is. Steve Armstrong comes into the ring, tucks a clothesline.
God, Ric Flair. Yeah, I saw that screen cap of the Reddit thing that I posted on Twitter last night in a Facebook group. I thought everybody had seen it. I'm like, oh, tweet it. The next thing you know, it's like gone viral. Yeah, the Tampa thing. He's shitting his pants all over Tampa. And I think my post about it is up to like 35,000 likes.
Very quick reminder, Bash at the Beach is right around the corner. It's going to be originating live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Sunday night, July the 11th at 8 o'clock Eastern and, of course, 5 o'clock out of the West Coast.
There's basically Nick Nolte now. I could see that.
One of the biggest spectaculars of the year for World Championship Wrestling. Now then, one of the names that we hear prominently mentioned for Bash at the Beach involves this man. He's from Ireland. He's none other than David Fit Finlay. And
hey, Fit Finlay.
I understand all of a sudden now you're competing in this.
Hell yeah, I am
hardcore,
number
this
one on
extreme
TRL.
division, and I find that very hard to
Yeah,
believe.
Ric Flair is the
because you
main
have always been
character
a
of the
big
Tampa,
proponent
Florida
of
subreddit.
mechanics, of good technical
Yes, Steve
style
Armstrong. I mentioned that.
Well,
Yeah,
you
he
know
was
when to bring it to
he was
you, you gotta
wearing
have
a
it.
little tribute to the
Thing
Young
is, they
Pistols in
bring
the
it
back
to
of
me,
his
I'm gonna
biker
sort it out,
shorts.
And what are you looking at?
I'm just admiring that very unique haircut of yours. But go ahead.
Even
finish your
Finley's
statement.
doing
Give you my
bits,
hairdresser's phone
doing
number if you'd
bits
like
and
it.
bops.
Oh, it doesn't do miracles.
I had mine thinned out at the last session. I think the guy went a little too far.
Man, I don't know how you confirm that
Let's
story
get back
unless
to
you
wrestling.
like
You have always been
stick
a good technical
a
wrestler.
camera
You
down
have
his
been a proponent
pants.
of good technical wrestling.
But like, no, there
Why
are
did you get
dozens
involved in
of
this
stories
free-for-all stuff?
Let me tell
on
you,
that
Gene,
subreddit
before these
about Ric
guys ever
Flair
thought of hardcore,
pissing and
hitting people
shitting
that
himself
had the ladders
and
chairs,
passing out, and
kitchen sinks,
like if you
whatever they
look
use,
up
old
most
toilet
of the
bowls,
bars in
most of them
Tampa
should be down in the
on
toilets.
Google,
But let me tell
and you get a
before they
couple
even thought
pages
about it,
down
I
into
was doing it on
the
the
pictures
street
they
where
take
there's
of
no
the
referee
like
to
the
stop you,
interior
and
of the
there's no
bar,
bell to say stop.
you'll see Ric Flair pop up
Fight
like
for your
fucking
life.
Where's Waldo.
These guys are doing it by rules, if you believe that or not. If the bell rings, they stop.
Well, I haven't seen a whole lot of rules. To me, it's just nothing but mass confusion. But apparently, this is the direction that you're going to be going.
Like there was a
Talk to you, my friend.
thread on that subreddit that was like hundreds of posts at one point of people who had seen Ric Flair passed out in the street
hardcore division here at WCW.
in front of the American Social in Tampa.
We're going to cap things off with a couple of high.
Oh shit, a good match.
That is Kaz Hayashi, his opponent, the multicolored Blitzkrieg.
And I cannot stress enough the importance of this matchup for the future
Ric
of
Flair and Blitzkrieg. No, Kaz Hayashi and Blitzkrieg.
their careers here in World Championship Wrestling, because the eyes of the WCW executive.
What is up with Worldwide not running entrances?
Involving Kaz Hayashi and Blitzkrieg, the reigning WCW World's Cruiserweight title
Like,
holder Rey Mysterio Jr.
It was just a clip show other than the couple matches they aired. They could have cut the clips a few seconds shorter.
Their way up the ladders, and they want a shot at Rey in the gold.
And you got to wonder, Rey Mysterio Jr., the Cruiserweight champion of the world, how much is he distracted by his involvement with Master P and the No Limit Soldier? He is still the Cruiserweight champion, but he is so enmeshed inside that Master P lifestyle. Is he going to even remember to defend the title within the time frame?
Scott Hudson's like, Rey Mysterio's gonna have so many women sucking his D, and he's gonna be drinking so much that he won't remember that he's a wrestler. Sid did shit his pants in the main event of WrestleMania 13. Yes. Big old dookie.
Oh, missed wildly with the spinning heel kick.
Sweet.
Nailed Blitzkrieg with a spinning heel kick of his
Yes, Kaz Hayashi, I think the year 2000 was the first full year he was under a real contract in WCW. They finally got him a fucking visa.
Not letting him get one bit of breath. Here we go, the double crossover, and Hayashi. Oh!
I'm sure an agent like went up to him in broken English and was like, "Hey man, The Rock does that thing with the elbow. You should do that too. That's what people like."
And I tell you who's got almost as hard a job as we do, Mike, and that's the third man in the ring, referee Johnny Boone.
Yeah, Blitzkrieg. His name's Jay. Been a PRN for many years.
Neither one of these men realistically has been known as a rule breaker in the past. So he's just going to have to keep up with them in terms of speed, and that was incredible. A sliding drop kick, I guess you would call it, from Kaz Hayashi while he had Blitzkrieg hung up in the corner, and he just nailed him again in the face.
I think Rick's just trying to silence the inner monologue in his head. I don't think he gives a shit about his legacy.
Into the guts, up top, shoulder high for Blitzkrieg. Whoa!
No, Kaz is from Japan. No, Kaz moved to Mexico in like 96, 97. And then Ultimo Dragon helped him get into WCW, but WCW didn't want to pay for him to get a visa. So they just paid him in cash under the table. And since he wasn't contracted, he was just getting like a couple $100 here and there.
Somewhere backstage, you gotta know. Men like Juventud Guerrero, Psychosis.
And then like at some point in the year 2000, when they were finalizing the AOL Time Warner merger, I guess someone was looking at the books and was like, "Where's this Kaz Hayashi guy?" on TV? Where is he in here? And they finally had to, like, do things legally.
Slingshot up and over the top rope onto the crossbody block on Hayashi on the floor.
And both men still outside the ring. The referee giving the count to these two athletes. Blitzkrieg back to his feet. Shoots Hayashi back into the ring. Blitzkrieg will follow up to the ring apron. Hayashi still dazed in the center of the ring. Blitzkrieg, springboard. Hayashi cut him off with a drop kick.
Great move that time. Perfect strategy employed by Kaz Hayashi. Aware that Blitzkrieg was committed in midair, and he hit the drop kick of his own.
Backdrop, but Hayashi caught himself on the apron.
Oh,
heel kick and a slingshot DDT. Are you kidding? Lateral press and Blitzkrieg. Oh, out at two somehow.
What a beautiful move, the slingshot, and then in midair grabbing on with just one arm and driving Blitzkrieg face first to the canvas with the DDT variation.
Black back, Blitzkrieg in, shoots him across.
They're talking about drive along or ride along or whatever that was. Like I only watched like 1 or 2 episodes of it, but that's so sad. Are you proud of me, Dad? And then Rick just fucking falls asleep.
Move on the way up to the top. Yes.
Blitzkrieg follows him up. Has Hayashi set.
Oh. I think Blitzkrieg, he would have had to have gone somewhere and like gotten better at the basics. He could do some real spectacular shit, but the in-between was rough. Shit in his pants. Proud of me, Dad? No. That fucking Japanese music they would play for everybody.
I tell you what, that one was so damn packed. Let's go back and take another look in our one.
I thought Scott Hudson said that was so damn packed.
1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. Take it, Mike.
What a great highlight reel this is going to be. There from the shoulders down to the waist with the scissors, and fluidly in one move into an attempt at a pinfall. Blitzkrieg able to follow up. There you see the slingshot into the cross-body block. Celebration time momentarily for Blitzkrieg before Hayashi went to the top and hit his patented senton splash. There's the cover, there's the 3 count.
For Mike today, I'm Scott Hudson. Let's send it back to Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko.
Larry Zbyszko.
All right, thanks a lot for the call of our double main event this week. Once again, on World
Tony Schiavone looks like a little boy that's pretending to be a sheriff.
Sting helping Kevin Nash there at the end. Sting picking up the intensity. And
God, Duggan gives up the West Texas Rednecks. Does something real racist when he hears that music.
We thought that maybe Sting was out for a little while, but he came back the very next night with a vengeance. Say what you want to about Sting. He is one of the most talented, one of the most intense individuals.
I don't think Larry's actually awake here.
Well, Sting escaped the vicious attack of the Hound of the Steiners.
He seems like a Larry Zbyszko animatronic.
Sting is much more intensified. With baseball bat in hand, he will now have the Steiners to haunt.
Next week on WCW Worldwide Wrestling, a
hunt.
rundown of a
Sting's going to hunt the Steiners.
Bash at the Beach coming your way Sunday, July 11th. And for the living legend, Larry Zbyszko, give us a big L. There you go. Tony Schiavone, see you next week on WCW.
All right, before we go to the episode of Saturday night we're going to watch to close out the evening, I am back Sunday for Off the Grid. And I'm excited about this one. We're going to watch something real weird. I think we'll have fun doing it. Sunday at 8 p.m. Off the Grid.
The hatred and animosity between these two athletes is at an all-time high. 2 diesel trains headed toward each other as tonight, wrestling meets basketball.
All right, so that is Sunday. We're going to watch Rodman Down Under. So yeah, just FYI, if you're listening with one earbud and you cannot hear the wrestling, switch earbuds. One of those weird
welcome to WCW Saturday Night.
One audio channel only.
Electricity, Mike Tenay here on TBS. Mike,
Feels.
2 weeks away from Bash at the Beach, and what a main event. The world champion Kevin Nash teams with Sting to take on the Macho Man Randy Savage and psychotic Sid Vicious. What about this?
I love to go to the club and just stare at middle-aged men talking behind a booth.
And Scott, as we witnessed this past Monday on Nitro, the president of WCW, Ric Flair, as well as RP the VP, Vice President Roddy Piper, well, they decided to stir up the pot a little bit.
Next time we watch one of these, I really need to get like actual glow
between
sticks.
Kevin Nash and Sting. So I guess it was only natural for them to, well, put them together as a tag team. And at Bash at the Beach, it will be those two going against Team Savage, Randy Savage, and Psychotic Sid.
Much more about
Psychotic Sid
to come in this broadcast. Hey, the Cowboys and the Rappers, that feud gets taken up a couple of notches later tonight.
And Scott, this past Thursday on Thunder, the president of WCW, Ric Flair, was
Wait a second, I'm gonna try something here.
several blockbuster announcements. Among them,
Did I fix it? I think I fixed it. Dave Burkhead. That's the most excited anybody's ever been to see Dave Burkhead. I fixed it. Yay. Hell yeah. All right. Let's get rid of that little cat. We don't need that motherfucker anymore.
Absolutely, and it also makes you wonder, is it a person?
We got audio on both channels.
What is the surprise that our president,
all right, thank you, Bungie to the Tree, for pointing that out. So we got Dave Burkhead, who I don't think Dave Burkhead even likes.
For 11 years. He has a long history in this sport and other sports.
Dave Oh God, it's fucking Van Hammer again. Dave Burkhead, who, yes, he came out to the My Sharona ripoff that Brian Knobbs used around this time. Van Hammer, who left the denim in the locker room, and Bungie, thank you for upping that Prime sub. I earned your love. Van Hammer ditched the denim for a singlet. Dave Burkhead, I always like to point out his indie name is so much better than his real name. His indie name was Knuckles Zandwich. Knuckles Zandwich.
Van Hammer and Dave Burkhead starting us off.
God.
TBS, it's WCW Saturday Night at Van Hammer.
Like, this is such a bad pairing, it should be illegal.
And Burkhead can't get on track. Oh, what a right hand.
A lot of speculation about what that surprise might be Monday that Flair has prepared for now.
Could you imagine hearing, coming to the ring, Knuckles Sandwich, and then this motherfucker, who looks like a grown-up infant who's just learning how to walk, comes stumbling out of the entrance.
And the guy is as technically sound as anyone. I think he's a little touched in the head, though. And
he's touched in the head.
He made his return 48 hours ago on Thunder with Fit Finley and Dave Taylor. Is that another?
Van Hammer, from everything I've heard, guys just like to party with him.
Steve Regal was the voice of reason between Fit Finley and Dave Taylor, but we saw that go down this past Thursday night.
And of course, Steve Regal and Fit Finley, they have had their wars.
See, if you're going to name Dave Burkhead anything Knuckle, it would be Moose Knuckle. Because he's kind of got one.
We're still paying the damage settlements of that thing.
One of the most memorable matches in WCW history. I'll never forget when he...
Oh my... Oh, his head came that fucking close.
We'll see where that goes. And also Thursday on Thunder, we heard Ric Flair make the match for the Bash at the Beach World Tag Team Championship on the line. The triad with the East Coast attitude. Diamond Dallas Page.
The triad with the East Coast attitude. Thank God that didn't stick. Yeah, guys. Sir, he wrestles like a fucking child. He wrestles like a kid's dumbest friend. You know, the one that drinks the creek water. Guys, I'm gonna do this.
The new ring style, especially when it comes to terms of
the new rings. What's fucking new about what he's doing? He's doing the same 3 moves he always did, Mike.
And
the
now,
new ring style.
Van Hammer and Burkhead still has not mounted much offense, if any, in this contest.
Now, Burkhead really has never gotten untracked against a much larger athlete. Van Hammer now sent off into the ropes. Just overpowered Burkhead.
Like, Dave Burkhead moves. Like, gravity affects him a lot more than the rest of us, you know? Oh, God! Is he trying to concuss the man?
So brutal. He knows he's got his opponent beaten, but never take that for granted. Burkhead can come back on enough. The Cobra clutch and the Cobra clutch slam. Oh,
I'm surprised he got up as far as he did on that jump.
CBS 2 and 3. Two big power moves for Van Hammer, taking down his opponent with great authority.
Yeah, I'm very disheartened by how many people got up to go, yeah, when Van Hammer won. I don't want to do a why somebody sucks. I'll let somebody else pick up that realm. I don't want to have to write a thing about Van Hammer's wrestling. This commercial was way too creative for 1999 WCW.
WCW 8661. This is as hardcore as I am.
Exactly, Elias.
This portion of WCW Saturday Night brought to you by Valvoline.
Go and huff some Valvoline at the club. I have not done one about Bam Bam, but it's probably coming.
I've got the latest on the eventual return of Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh,
we'll
shit.
Talk about Goldberg and also the return to
See, when you wrote AVG in, I wasn't thinking adult video game nerd. I was thinking something else, Elias.
Virtually all of the news that is news. Things we cannot talk about on television, I will delve into tonight during my exclusive hotline report. So here's what you do. Pick up the phone right now and give us a call. 1-900-909-9900.
Hey.
That's 1-900-909-9900.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You got to turn the music down. I'm calling Gene. I said I'm calling Gene. Turn the bass down.
Thank you so very much, Mean Gene Oakland. Hey, I wonder if Mean Gene's got any scoop on the surprise Ric Flair has in store for Kevin Nash Monday on Nitro.
This could be anybody. Oh shit, it's Al Green.
Ric Flair just sort of had blockbuster after blockbuster, major announcements about a tag title matchup
Before he became trans-species and became a dog. Oh shit.
In Chicago, and you know the stroke that Flair has in Chicago.
I hate that everybody in wrestling at this time decided to substitute the word power with stroke.
That Eric Bischoff, in his former incarnation, was hustled out of the building.
His former incarnation?
Are you kidding me?
He died and came back as a butterfly?
Oh yes, the general.
Don't care if you are some karate.
It's your job.
That is Al Green in a mask.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have an option. Well, what are we going to show up and Flair's going to have his goon squad?
His goon squad. His gooner squad. Ric Flair's gooner squad. I'm surprised that's not a thing. Like, a bunch of, like, Hill Tony style chuds hanging out with Ric Flair, saying all sorts of problematic shit while he throws up on himself.
He's the president of World Championship Wrestling. He ruled that there would no longer be any hardcore matches at WCW arenas. Why?
That is such an entertaining event.
Scott Hudson's like, no, I would like to watch people give each other concussions.
World Championship Wrestling. Ric Flair obviously doesn't care.
Or is Rick still deeply in debt? Is he still breathing?
Developments in WCW this year, the hardcore match. Ric Flair just
I mean, he still owes Kerry Silken like $20,000.
Has to be for Jimmy Hart. He's been rebuilding among his first family members. We see the Barbarian.
And I have to think that's not the only person.
Of course, he has Brian.
Yeah, God, Jimmy Hart with the Misfits skull is phenomenal. One of his best jackets.
A week ago, he added Jerry Flynn to the First Family stable.
That is a organization. Every man
I think he was diagnosed. He's re-diagnosed with skin cancer. He has like a melanoma of some type on his forehead.
Full scoop and a slam from Al Green. It's only 2 weeks from tomorrow night in Fort Lauderdale. The Bash at the Beach.
Jimmy Hart's just like, fuck, I'm just gonna climb up here. He's not even cheating. What was Al Green doing?
That World Championship payday to team up with the Stinger to take on Randy Savage and Sid Vicious at Bash at the Beach. But I'm very concerned about the Nash-Sting duo. They don't trust each other. Nash thinks Sting drove the Hummer.
Well, again, this isn't a
fucking Hummer, man.
He doesn't have an option. This was a ruling by Vice President Piper and President Flair that they be involved in that matchup at Bash at the Beach. And Scott, I spoke with Zane Bresloff of Awesome Promotions earlier today.
That's
there are still tickets on sale at the
wow.
National Car Rental Center box office and Ticketmaster outlets throughout the Sunshine State for Bash at the Beach.
I gotta say, like, we have some dumb arena names now. The National Car Rental Center was pretty fucking bad.
Paranoia involved with Kevin Nash not trusting Sting. Yeah, I say I can't blame Kevin Nash. No, you look at today's professional wrestling climate. There's just so much at stake. And realistically, who can you trust anymore in this business?
Well, what we're seeing is polarization involved in World Championship Wrestling. You see the NWO Black and White still as a unit. You see the East Coast Triad as a unit. Now we're seeing Dave Taylor, the returning Steve Regal and Finlay as a unit.
Yeah, this is that period where everybody was in a trio.
Wrestlers in WCW, they're forming up. You're seeing the Icons making their own group, and it's all
the Icons making their own group.
And Kevin Nash is
Our Yankee Hawk says Adrien Bird won 2 matches in WCW. That singles match, and then a 6-man where he, Bobby Blaze, and Dave Burkhead beat Chris Adams, Steve Regal, and Dave Taylor. That's got to be like a DQ or something.
I took that to mean that we would find out on Sunday, July the 11th at the Bash at the Beach pay-per-view just exactly who was behind the wheel of that Hummer.
That's exactly the way I took that comment from the Macho Man Randy Savage last Thursday on Thunder. But you never know with Savage. He is so out of control, so over the top. He might even remember making that statement 2 weeks from tomorrow night when we get to Fort Lauderdale at Bash at the Beach. Now in the corner mount.
That's balls right in your face, dude.
The Barbarian. And we talk about the polarization. One of the most.
All right, yes, it was a DQ. I was gonna say, there's no way that team is winning a match over anybody clean.
Suplex release, and I mean Green hit hard.
Well, Al Green has had his share of
yeah, that was a customs camera angle.
Just nailed him with the suplex, and I think he just loaded up the boot and down.
What the fuck was that ball?
He caught it right flush on the jaw. And the Barbarian. Wait a minute. Is that a high sign? Is he done? Oh, more.
Oh, he's gonna finish him with an armbar that he probably also did in the first second of the match. Yeah, Chris Adams, his eyes turned red when he saw he had to do a job to Dave Burkhead. Hey, baby, it's me and my big Tongan.
2 weeks from tomorrow night, it's the Brawl.
What a shitty commercial. Earth is dreary, and Bash at the Beach is a rain cloud over it. Makes you sad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on TBS with more of WCW Saturday Night. You know, it's one thing to watch our great programming on television. It is another to see it live and in person. This weekend, the stars of WCW, the Nitro Girls, and DJ Rand will be appearing at a couple of big shows coming to cities around the Midwest.
That's right. This is when they started sending DJ Rand to the house shows.
Also there tonight in Fort Wayne.
That's why people aren't going to the house shows. It's not because all the main eventers stopped coming. DJ Rand.
Up in Milwaukee,
Low Dog is Jesus coming back. No, it's just Bash at the Beach.
Tickets will be available, will always be available at the Wisconsin.
I thought that said the pay-per-view started at 7:10.
Plus, a couple of upcoming Thunders we got to
Yeah,
talk
I
about.
saw that.
Thunder, of course,
I'm not
the big
surprised.
show seen each and every Thursday night
A lot
right here
of the stuff
on the
pre like
Superstation PBS at 8:05
2005 is very
Birmingham,
badly
Alabama.
labeled
Thursday night, July the 8th,
in the
at
library.
Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center Arena.
A lot of it's not even
Tickets on sale at the
digitized.
Central
So.
Ticket Office and at all ticket link
I'm
outlets.
not surprised
Also
they can't
in Moline, Illinois, up in the Quad Cities.
DJ ran all up in your area. That's right. That
At
was
the
his,
Mark
that
of
was
the
his
Quad.
thing.
Tickets at the box office.
And then he would
all
like
ticket
scratch like a
outlets.
Sugar Ray song.
WCW live and coming to your town.
All the things that I meant to say.
Folks, don't
Wicka,
go
wicka,
away.
what?
When we
All the
come
things
back,
that
we're
got
gonna
in
have
the way.
From Nitro this past Monday night.
Promotional consideration paid for by the
They started the digital stuff, but only for like the stuff that aired on TV. Like all the like the prime time and superstars and the pay-per-views and Raws and all that. That stuff got digitized. Shit that just aired in a couple of markets like that. No, it's still on fucking reels.
Just flashed over me. Stay at Motel 6. Hey, I'm no fool.
They have so much
And
footage.
slept like a baby.
That's why all the dark matches that they put up all are in shitty VHS quality. God, I cannot imagine watching a 1999 pay-per-view on 1999 internet. But if they got it to at least run decently, good on them. Watching pay-per-view on dial-up. But how much money do you think they spent renting Hummers and limos every week and crashing them most of the time?
He wants to know who was driving that Hummer. Now, people are talking about paranoia invading Kevin Nash. Speaking of invading, Team Savage.
Speaking of invading, Team Madness has taken over the Middle East.
On these two former cruiserweight champions until Sting made the save.
Sting standing up for those little boys.
Accused the Stinger of driving the Hummer for Team Macho Man.
The main event cutting out. Mom, get off the phone. I have to find out if Bret Hart's gonna beat Goldberg. You come back, shit. Bret Hart's brain dead. What happened?
Hardcore match and back to this past Nitro. Psychotic Sid Vicious and the Macho Man attack Sting until
Yeah, midlife crisis Savage is sad. Whoa, we're at Saturday night under all these floodlights. I think we got La Parka coming out, liven up the joint on the Humper. You mean the Hummer? But it's WCW. Maybe there was a guy named the Humper that we don't know about. Who drove the Humper? Oh, he faked you out. Serious, I think they brought the same lights that they would light like the Nitros with in those big NBA arenas. And then they would run Saturday night in like a 1,500 seat building. And it would just be too much. The Humper was Brutus under a mask. Yeah, Carmen Electra was one of the original ideas for the Hummer. In canon, it ended up being Eric Bischoff a year later, when the New Blood stuff started. They actually did close that storyline. Oh shit, Kenny Chaos. Danger, high voltage. Here comes the Humper.
I don't trust you, franchise boy.
Whoa.
Franchise boy.
We also heard Kevin Nash cut the promo on Sting on Sunday.
Senior Humper Flair.
I
think this might be Kenny Chaos's last match in WCW.
Speaking of Thunder's World Championship Wrestling brings Thunder.
Like if it's not his last one, it's one of his last ones. He was out of the company that within weeks of this.
At the Arena Central ticket office and all ticket link outlets, Thunder and
They were like, shit, we fired the other one.
And tickets are available at the Mark of the Quad City.
We fired Rage.
All Ticketmaster outlets.
You just have Chaos now.
Birmingham, one of the last times I was over there was for an Ultimate Fighting Championship contest where Tank Abbott was a big part of that event.
Yeah, High Voltage is an underrated team. Two gigantic, jacked, swelly, sweaty dudes. who did springboards like fucking frogs. Yeah, seriously, how did Kenny Chaos wash his back? Like, his ass must be so smelly. There's no way he could wash his ass normally.
Has for the world champion Kevin Nash.
No, you're right. Is it a person? Is it a wrestler? Is it an individual that currently?
That sounds like a Matt Hardy thing.
WCW? Is it someone coming from another organization?
I mean, High Voltage is not that original of a name.
It could be anything with the history that Kevin Nash has amassed in his 10+
Danger,
years.
danger, washing my ass with a rag on a stick.
It could be anyone or anything. It may be both.
Is it someone with a previous association with Kevin Nash, or maybe it's a complete stranger?
Everybody's bringing up the ass washing stick.
On Nitro as Chaos walks right into a big boot from La Parka. Oh, and another one. Oh, La Parka planted him right in the face. Oh no, ran right into a power slam.
Largest of the luchadors came running out of the corner. Hook of the
I found Robbie Rage on Facebook. Technically not his Facebook. I found a family member's Facebook who posts stuff for Robbie on their page. He does like wrestling promos, but he's like cooking food. He's still jacked as hell. Doing testimonials for his church.
He's walking very gingerly. He's saving up every bit of energy
I need to find it again. He did a shoot interview for his church where they were asking him about his favorite matches. And Rage is like, oh yeah, I love wrestling Chono and Keiji Muto over in Japan, and the preacher's eyes like glaze over. He has no fucking idea what he's talking about.
We have seen Eddie back better than ever since his return from that horrible automobile.
You got to fill pro wrestling with some sort of void filler, and Jesus is one of the big ones.
Latino World Order. La Parka was in that organization. Eddie may have La Parka in his crosshairs. Almost as if
I love how Scott Hudson always referred to stables as organizations, like they had fucking presidents and the treasurers and stuff.
Speaking of that, there's an ex-LWOer who just hit the missile drop kick off the top.
Oh, did that connect? Lateral press and Chaos out at 2.
And I feel that Eddie Guerrero looks at the former LWO members and the way that they turned their back.
Kenny Kaz holding strong on MySpace.
Because shortly after that car accident on New Year's Eve, the LWO members, if you recall, all took their shirts off.
Bless La Parka's heart for still being willing to do that. But it's clear WCW didn't do fucking anything with him. Weren't going to do anything with him. And he's just out there taking a bump on his hip every night off the top rope. Oh, jeez.
Great impact moves by the former World Tag Team title holder Chaos.
Chaos now out to the ring.
Springboard wouldn't be a Chaos match without it.
Quickly over, hooks the leg, and that will do it.
Again, so many fans. Yeah, Kenny Chaos.
Yeah. Champion now Solo gets an impressive scoop over the Parka.
Nicely done by Kenny Chaos. He played to
They would do these Saturday night tapings in this era in these really small towns, and they could send fucking anybody out to the ring in fucking Butte, Montana. The crowd would be like, shit, I saw them on Nitro once. That's a star. Hey, Eddie Sensei.
The 1, 2, and 3 gets the Duke in our 1-800-COLLECT replay. 1-800-COLLECT. It's the easy way to save 2 weeks from tomorrow night.
By the way, shout out to my SSRI gang. Raw dog my meds for the night.
I've got to have the July pay-per-view tradition from WCW.
Tradition.
It is back at the beach.
I think it was the 4th year for Bash at the Beach.
Brought to you by America Online.
If we count Beach Blast, there's like 6 years.
AOL has got it all.
Email, internet, and a whole lot more.
Where else are you going to find all this?
America Online. So easy to use. No wonder it's #1.
I can't believe they'd send Dave Burkhead all the way to Possum Ridge, Arkansas. Exactly.
Live event at the Palace of Auburn Hills,
I
just
love country
outside
music.
Detroit.
I love country
Unbelievable
girls.
show. What great
I
fans
love
there in
Willie
Motor City.
Nelson.
And we
Don't forget about Pearl. Here comes Barry Windham with his counterfeiting brother Kendall and his little denim shorts, little Van Hammer denim shorts, and his gardening gloves. Hey, wait! Hello. That fan didn't even know there was wrestling in town. He just walks around with a sign that says "I hate rap." Walks to Walmart, post office. I hate rap.
Time at the Coliseum ticket office and all Ticketmaster outlets. And we wrap up the weekend tomorrow in Milwaukee. WCW at the Wisconsin Center.
Kendall Windham's another wrestler that always looked like an adult baby.
And of course, it's Monday
even when he had hair.
The United Center in the Windy City of Chicago.
It's about to get turned up several notches here.
I think the reason why they got such a short sentence is because is it Brad?
Barry Windham to face Rey Mysterio Jr.
God, fucking BA. I think Blackjack Mulligan ended up like squealing on the head of the operation, and that was like the arrangement. BA is Brad Armstrong. That's Brad Armstrong as a No Limit Soldier. I was listening to a Brad Armstrong interview the other day where he's like, Conan just wanted me to be my fucking brother, man. And one day I agreed to be a No Limit Soldier, and he's like, you gotta be your brother, you gotta be Brian.
Oh, hang on, Ray Jr.'s grabbed the mic.
Oh, Jigga. Okay. I can't say that on WCW Saturday night. He's just doing Conan's promo. Like, this sounds like a child that they hand the mic off to at, like, Fanatics Fest.
You heard me. Oh, Conan's got some.
God, fucking Brad over there.
Very good. Rey Mysterio Jr., the cruiserweight.
He can say Jigga on TV. Why can't I say? Shut up, Brad.
Barry Windham coming in probably what, 275?
Rey Mysterio Jr. against Barry Windham. Oh boy.
Look at the contrast inside.
His
Big Barry Windham against Rey Mysterio.
Like, I fucking love both of them.
World's cruiserweight champion. It's going to be obvious that Rey is, well, he's going to need to employ a hit and run.
They don't even look like.
Don't get trapped by BW.
Please don't, and don't forget that OKW, Kendall Windham.
Even in a work, this doesn't seem fair. Yeah, this is probably going on the random list at some point. Like, yeah, their teams feuded, but why the fuck would you book this specific singles match?
Give Rey Mysterio Jr. a lot of credit. He is showing Barry Windham the.
Like, out of everybody in the No Limit Soldiers and the West Texas Rednecks, why is this the match you book as a singles match?
That's the key. Take Barry Windham down to the mat. Make him the same size as Rey Jr.
So bless Barry Windham's heart for being one of the few big guys willing to actually sell for Rey.
Just barely. And Rey Mysterio Jr. all over Barry Windham.
Like, big versus small is a good visual, but like, this is too much. Like, this just looks physically awkward. Why is Barry wearing those gloves? Nobody knows. I think he's been asked before and he wouldn't answer, which makes it sound like there's something like nefarious going on with them.
Rey Mysterio Jr. just turned the tables on Barry Windham. He hit the top rope bulldog.
What a great response from this crowd, and now I think it's Rough Rider time.
Yeah, this is the era where they kept telling Rey, don't do the Bronco Buster on TV. And he's like, no, I want to. And so when he would do it, they would cut to, like, the furthest camera away.
Scott, this is a preview of a matchup that is set for Bash at the Beach on July the 11th. There's going to be an 8-man elimination tag team bout.
Roping. His roping gloves. I've heard Barry say they were gardening gloves.
Windham joining forces with Bobby Duncombe Jr. and Kurt Hennig against the Rappers Quartet. Oh, as Mysterio is hung out to dry on the top rope. It's going to be Rey Jr., Conan, B.A., and Big Swole making up the force.
But like, could you imagine being one of the other West Texas rednecks and walking up to the ring every night with Barry Windham dressed like that? This guy's on my team.
Out of control at Bash at the beat. Barry Windham went into the corner. Ray Jr. sidestepped him now. Ray Jr. from up top. Oh, he got him.
Again, bless Barry Windham's heart.
Ray Jr.
He's actually flying around for Ray. He's trying his hardest here.
Flip out by Ray Jr. Oh, but Kendall was there with a double leg sweep and takedown. Oh, hang on. Oh, that's it. The referee will call for the...
Fuck. Fuck this. Boo. If you're gonna do the match, fucking commit to it. Oh, hey, there's the other rednecks that weren't out for some reason.
The Cowboys, you knew they were here, and we heard Ray say there was no payoff. This could get ugly on Saturday night.
I don't know if Ray was miserable. I just think he was... He was nervous. Why the fuck? Okay, so if Conan was there, why the fuck is Ray cutting his promo? Conan was in the building. And they're like, no, Ray, you go out and do the Conan thing. Carlos, Charles, you stay in the back. We want Ray to do your thing.
What an impressive individual, and BA, they're just jawing back and forth.
Fucking Brad Armstrong throwing up the West Side.
Giant killer and big Barry Windham. Well, in my mind, at least, Barry Windham was his victim before that.
But I will say, Chase Tatum looked sillier with them than fucking Brad did.
But nonetheless, it's a disqualification victory for the world's cruiserweight champion.
And the No Limit Soldiers, along with the rappers Rey Mysterio Jr. and Conan, they are counting.
Fucking Swole grabbing everybody in one big bear hug.
Ray Jr., Conan.
Exactly. Brad without the hat, he looks like fucking what's his face from 30-something. Yeah, Brad was in the group because they needed somebody to teach Chase Tatum and Swole and 4x4 how to wrestle. And they're like, shit, Ray can't do that because they can't learn how to wrestle like Ray. We gotta send Brad in there. And plus, Conan really wanted Brad in their group. I did not see Eddie Mansfield went off in cornet. I tried to stay away from the cornet-averse.
It's man against man.
I love this Nitro commercial that's just like, remember when the show was really good?
With rage, and it's 100% live. Watch
All these clips of Nitro before it started sucking.
Exclusively on TNT.
Yeah, could you imagine fucking 4x4 out there with his fucking titties out to here, wrestling like Ray?
We're going to be back up in the windy city of Chicago, Illinois, at the United Center. Limited tickets, by the way, on sale. They remain on sale at the box office.
I thought he said lemons and tickets on sale. Come get your lemons.
A week from this Monday, we're going to be back
your
home
Wolfpack lemons
at the Georgia Dome. Tickets on sale there at the box office and at all Ticketmaster locations. Monday, July the 12th, traveling south to beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey,
on the Atlantic Shores. We're going
that
to
was
be
Keith
at the
David, yes.
Downtown. Tickets available to the box office and at all Ticketmaster.
Glacier wasn't even Glacier anymore.
Monday, July the 19th,
and he's in the Nitro commercial.
Upper Midwest at the Metro Center. Tickets on sale at the box office and at all Ticket Center outlets. Tickets, by the way, just
this Nitro touring schedule makes no fucking sense. They're in Chicago, and then they're in Jacksonville, and then they're in Rockford.
My sources there tell me the tickets are going like hotcakes. So get them in advance. They're available at the arena box office and at all Ticketmaster outlets. Colorado Springs, the World Center, Monday, coming up Monday, August the 16th.
Like, was Zane Breslov, like, just scribbling all over a map of America? And is like, okay, that's the touring schedule.
July the 11th, Bash at the Beach in Fort Lauderdale. Tickets available there at the box office and at all Ticketmaster locations.
More for this past Monday Nitro.
Like Illinois, Florida, Illinois, fucking Colorado, and then back to Florida.
They go great anywhere. Most people prefer they go in the mouth. How else would you taste 70 years of roasting perfection?
Drive into a Travelodge location for free in-room coffee, free lobby newspaper, and a great room at a great rate. Call 1-800-578-7878 now for Travelodge.
Yeah. This ad was on every fucking wrestling show for years. You smelly ass wrestling fans.
Pick Hot Pockets and get real food with real
Hot Pockets are garbage.
Real sliced ham, real vegetables, real food for a busy life.
Hot Pockets.
Ancient warlords agree. A sandwich just isn't a sandwich without the tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
Master P and the No Limit Soldiers were celebrating the
God, it is hilarious that they treated Nitro like fucking pay-per-views, and it's like, oh, we can only air stills, and they have to be stretched out in fake widescreen, so you can barely see anything.
Didn't take kindly to that and took the birthday cake and made Kurt Hennig wear it.
And Kurt Hennig was not happy either. Later on Nitro, we saw Master P and the No Limit Soldiers and the Cowboys turn it up yet another notch.
Well, this was the conclusion of the World Tag Title match, and bodies came from everywhere to hit the ring.
Bodies came from everywhere.
Including Perry Saturn and Chris Benoit, who will get a title.
What the fuck type of still is that? Just a bunch of shadowy people. Who's a fan? Who's a wrestler? Who knows?
Yeah, as this ended, it was the No Limit Soldiers.
Like seriously, these shots are all worthless. I have no idea who the fuck any of these people are. And I believe this is our main event, as Bobby Blaze and Lenny Lane walk to the ring for tag team competition. This is our main event. What a fucking team. Why the fuck wasn't Barry and Ray the main event? You know, the match with the 2 stars? Bodies came from everywhere's Jimmy Hart's version of the Drowning Pool song, yes. Bobby Blaze was the last Smoky Mountain champion. That's what you're referring to, Drew. I don't think Lenny Lane was ever in Smoky Mountain.
Cowboys has certainly turned into one of the most heated situations currently in WCW.
Leonard Lane Esquire and Robert Blazingame.
Going to Bash at the Beach because at that event on July the 11th, there's going to be an 8-man elimination tag.
Kurt's feeling funny.
About the teams, and this is half of Team Cowboy. Hennig and Duncan
Team Cowboy. Thank goodness they came up with an actual name for that team, and not fucking Team Cowboy. They're just stopping during their interest to have a conversation.
You know what, I tell you, I like rap music as much as the next guy. I like country music as much as the next guy, but that song,
Scott, I love you, Scott. I really doubt you like rap music as much as the next guy.
Thing will neuter every animal there is in sound.
Neuter? Like,
I don't know. Our
what?
broadcast colleague Larry Zbyszko seems to think that it's going to be a hit on the C&W charts.
Great. Well, Larry Zbyszko, great country music connoisseur that he is. It was written after 1912. He doesn't listen to it.
What do you mean? He mentioned on Thunder that Bob Seger is his favorite, and he's a big rock and roll fan.
Larry Zbyszko is a Bob Seger fan?
You're going to have to start listening to the Thunder broadcast.
Why should I do that?
The only folks that got to talk about like pop culture in WCW were just all the old farts.
He is wrestling's living legend.
The Cowboys to face Lenny Lane and Bobby Blaze.
No, that was not Jeff Jarrett's old theme. The second one was. Good old boys. That was the Jeff Jarrett song.
I want to know in the first place, but I think what you mean to say is with Lenny Lane.
The second one was just them singing over Jeff Jarrett's mid-90s WCW music.
We see Lenny Lane, we see Lodi come to the ring later, and vice versa. but this is Bobby Blaze and Lenny Lane.
So
and
we're
there with the Cowboys.
in the Lenny and Lodi storyline. But Lenny is not teaming with Lodi. He's teaming with Bobby Blaze. Why the fuck not?
That is a slap heard around the world when it knocks you down. One right to the red basket from Curt Hennig. And to the ropes, Lenny. Oh, big knee lift. Oh, Lenny was hung out to dry on that.
Great execution of that.
Good on Lenny for bumping.
The master of
Bumping big for Curt Hennig.
Technique, and Hennig unloaded with the knee lift. You see now his tag team partner Duncombe taking Lenny Lane, tossing him back into the ring, but look at Lenny Lane bail out.
2 weeks from tomorrow night in Fort Lauderdale at Bash at the Beach.
Good on Lenny Lane for doing his Curt Hennig impression while wrestling Curt Hennig.
Bobby Duncombe Jr., Kendall and Barry Windham to face B.A., Swole, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Conan.
I don't know if they ever actually use that on TV, Yankee. Maybe in like a promo offhand. This was the last good Curt Hennig run. Because again, Hennig was having fun. Because he was having fun, he was trying hard. When WCW kiboshed this, he's like, fuck it. I'm done putting in effort. Oh, fuck. And I mean, right after they kiboshed this, Bobby Duncombe died. You know? Kurt got a job with WWE and he went through all of his effort in the Royal Rumble. He had the one good Royal Rumble match and then he sucked for the rest of it.
And let's not forget you got Miss Madness, Gorgeous George, and Medusa.
See, look at him. This is as much effort as Curt Hennig ever put in WCW. He had the one Bret Hart pay-per-view match in '98. And then it's this run. And other than that, he's just fucking... I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but he was fucking so much out of his mind.
Got the 2 count on Lenny Lane, and I wonder, talking about Kevin Nash,
like,
is he going to be distracted?
And then he had the stink face spot in the WWF. That's the only other thing other than the Royal Rumble that he did that was any good in the WWF in that era. All right, Stephen J. Neptune Man, this week in history. This episode of Saturday Night was followed by the Braves beating the Mets 7-2. The Yanks beat the Orioles 7-4, and the #1 movie in America was Big Daddy. Yeah, the second WWF Curt Hennig run, the 2002 one, was just because he was the top guy in the XWF. He came in, he looked incredible in the Royal Rumble, and then he never looked that good again.
Cowboys just uncorking on Lenny Lane.
And maybe the ultimate distraction for Kevin Nash is the mere fact that he can't even trust his own tag team partner, Sting, upcoming at Bash at the Beach, at least in the mind of Kevin Nash.
I was going to say, can he trust him? I don't think he does. I don't know if he has a reason not to. I think Kevin Nash is just getting paranoid because so many people...
I believe his last match was in TNA, yeah.
Well, it's all about proof, and at this point in time, he's
that
Sting's word.
Brad Armstrong interview I was listening to was from around that time.
As we mentioned earlier,
and he mentioned that, you know, Brad hated wrestling at that point. He was trying to find his love through indies. And like whenever BG was at TNA, he'd call Brad and put him on the phone with Kurt. And Kurt would be like, man, you gotta come here to TNA. And Brad's like, I don't like wrestling anymore. And Kurt's like, I haven't liked wrestling in 4 years. They pay me.
Earlier on in this broadcast, we saw Swole, Chase, B.A., Ray Jr., and Conan out during the Barry Windham, Rey Mysterio Jr. match.
Why is this match still going on?
They know there are reinforcements backstage. They have to be very careful in this contest.
And careful is what they should be when you're dealing with an association and with a group like the No Limits.
Like, this must have been cool, though, for Lenny Lane. A Minnesota guy. Probably watched Curt Hennig on TV when he was like a teenager. In the AWA. Getting to work with him. Hey, there's Lodi. He's gonna combine like 3 storylines into one match. Like in canon, was Lodi like, shit, we need to go have sex right now.
This is now a handicap contest with Kurt Hennig and Bobby Duncombe Jr. taking on Bobby Blaze solo. Lodi just took Lenny Lane.
Brad's not alive. Brad died like 15 years ago.
To the Wolves is what they did. There's the Hennig flex.
That is going to do it. Bobby Blaze can't fight 2 men.
Yeah, Brad Armstrong's been dead for years. Died a couple years after Kurt did. 2007, 2008, I think. West Texas Rednecks win again. Why the fuck didn't they flop? The last 2 matches, like Ray and Brad go like 6 or 7 minutes, and then do the schmoz at the end. Fucking company. I hate rap.
Kurt Hennig filming the video yesterday in Nashville, Tennessee.
I wish Brad was still alive. All right, Yankee Hawk, have a good one.
But the Cowboys reign supreme.
See you Sunday, bud. Yeah, Saturday night just ends with Kurt Hennig like dancing and celebrating. Could have had like a hot brawl at the end. No, the heels get to leave as babyface heroes at the end. They really should have been huge babyfaces in WCW. Alright, before we get going, again, I'm back for Off the Grid Sunday. But if you can't join me Sunday, I'm back also next Tuesday for WCW Deep Cuts Live. And we're bringing back an old tradition on the show. By old tradition, I mean I've done this twice. We're doing it again next week.
What's left of your crony partner is back in the locker room. This is all that's left of Jimmy Hart.
All right, so that does it. Another Tuesday in the books. Thank you all for hanging out of me. Hanging out of me? What? Hanging out with me the last 2 hours here on WCW Deep Cuts Live. Before I go, I forgot to do it at the beginning of the show. I want to plug Wrestle Shop sent me this sweet WCW Brews Cruise shirt. Shout out Wrestle Shop. Thank you for sending that. Love that shirt. Again, I am back Sunday night at 8 p.m. for Off the Grid. Also, check out my newest long-form video, 5 more of the most random matches in WCW TV history. Getting a lot of great response to it. So go check that out on my YouTube channel. But before we go, as I always like to say, even if you don't make it here next Tuesday, just make it the next Tuesday. That's all I'm asking. 7 days. Life sucks. Life's hardest. Especially now fucking days. Gonna be in World War III soon. Fuck. Fucking idiots. But 7 days. That's all I'm asking. We got each other. Sharing the laughter and love. I'm gonna try my hardest to be here. I sure hope you do as well. And my name's Tom. This is WCW Deep Cuts Live. I think, there we go. Go to bed!